A new proposal has been introduced to increase Social Security benefits. And yes, this is a new proposal. And no, this is not the Social Security 2100. It's a new one. So let's get into it and talk about all the details. But if you haven't done so yet, or if you happen to be new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video so I can keep you updated each and every day with all of this information that continues changing every single day. You watch these videos because you want the latest information as well as honest, accurate, and reliable information, which is exactly what I do right here on the channel. I literally do research all day, every single day. I take all that information, I bring it back in these short videos, and I bring it to you hot off the press as it's being released. Just like what we're going to talk about right here in this video with this new proposal that was just introduced to actually raise Social Security benefits. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Subscribe down below and feel free to share this video with your friends, family, and social media so they can also stay tuned with everything going on. All right, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Let's get into this right away. All right, so like I said at the beginning, this is a new proposal that was just introduced to raise Social Security benefits, as well as a few other provisions within it. And like I said, no, this is not the Social Security 2100. This is actually kind of interesting here. So this is a new one. Honestly, I did not see a name on it, but rather I can tell you the representative who actually introduced this. So this new one was actually introduced by Lawson, which is actually kind of interesting because the Social Security 2100 was introduced by John Larson. So we have Lawson and Larson. Yeah, right? If it's not confusing enough, there you go, right? So anyway, we will be talking a little bit about both of these proposals because they are a little bit similar, but yet they do have some very drastic differences. So let me share with you a couple differences between these two proposals so that you kind of better understand the differences. So number one, the Social Security 2100 that was introduced by John Larson actually has those provisions to only go into effect for 5 years. Then they expire. However, these ones that are just introduced out of this new proposal from Lawson are actually permanent. So these would actually be permanent. So that's kind of a little bit better, right? So those are some of the differences right there. But let's quickly run through what this new proposal is from Lawson. Again, I want to say that so that there's no confusion, right? Again, it's so confusing. Lawson and Larson. I mean, really? So anyway, let's get into this a little bit further. So here's what he's actually introducing. First, he wants to do a few things. Number one, he wants to institute the CPIE rather than the CPIW. Now, let me explain this a little bit further because it actually does have a kind of a drastic difference between these two. So right now, the Social Security Cost of Living Adjustment, otherwise known as the COLA raise, is calculated off of the CPIW, which stands for Consumer Price Index for Workers. However, they want to change it to the CPIE, which stands for Consumer Price Index for the Elderly. So the reason they want to change this is because a lot of the people who draw on Social Security benefits actually have different expenses, like your allocations of money and your expenses go out for different things than just the average Joe walking around the streets, right? So that's why they want to peg it to actual CPIE, Consumer Price Index for the Elderly. One of the big weights in there is actually healthcare because people drawing on Social Security tend to spend a lot more money on healthcare versus other expenses that are within the CPIW. So this is one of them that they actually both want to do in both of the proposals, the one from Lawson and from Larson. Now, this one actually be a good one. And actually, historically, the CPIE actually raises faster than the CPIW. In other words, what that translates into is a higher cost of living adjustment going forward because inflation is actually higher within the CPIE versus the CPIW. Make sense? So basically what it comes down to is the cost of living adjustment would likely be higher going forward each and every year rather than these little 0.3%, 1.3%, you know, the little tiny raises that you've seen over the last several years, right? So I wanted to explain that because it's kind of confusing, but hopefully that kind of clears it up a little bit more. So that's in there right there. That would be a nice little raise going forward. Also, one other thing in the Lawson bill, the Lawson proposal. This is the new proposal, by the way. Lawson is new. All right, so in this one, he also wants to extend the student benefit up to age 23 for full-time students. Now, I'm guessing that probably doesn't impact a whole lot of people here on the channel, but just in case it does, I wanted to throw it out there just because that is also here within this proposal. All right, next within this proposal from Lawson, again, the new proposal, is he wants to increase the special minimum benefit for very low income earners. So, if you're a very low income earner and you have the special minimum benefit, you could take advantage of this new increased special minimum benefit. So again, there's some pretty cool stuff in here. Now you might be wondering, why are they doing this and why are these proposals coming out? This is literally the second proposal that has been sent out in the last about five. It's probably about 6 weeks now. John Larson, the other proposal for the Social Security 2100, that one was actually introduced in late October. So here we are about 6 weeks or so later, and we've already got another Social Security proposal to actually shore up the program. Does any of this make sense as far as, can you see a little bit of a trend? The people who are in Congress are starting to see that, Social Security may be in trouble out into the future. We probably should do something about it now to help out the program Solvency and for all of these tens of millions of beneficiaries. So it's a good thing they're actually being a little bit proactive about this and actually working on it now, because we all know, as we've talked about before, there are some problems coming down the road for about, all these millions of beneficiaries out about 12 years from right now. So anyway, let's talk through it a little bit further here. So a couple of the things that they want to do within this is actually raise the payroll tax limit. So that's how they're going to pay for all of this. So as of right now, here in 2021, by the way, I'm recording this video in early December of 2021. If you happen to be watching this video in 2022, some of this may already be enacted by then, or I'm guessing we've probably got some more updates by then. But of course, I'll probably have more updates by then in 2022. But again, I have no clue what's going to come then because it's not 2022 yet when I record this video. But anyway, as of right now, the payroll taxes for Social Security is $142,800. So you're taxed on up to that much money as far as income, and then any earnings over that income, payroll taxes for Social Security do not kick in. So any income over that limit is not taxed by Social Security. However, with this new Lawson proposal, he wants to raise the payroll taxes up to $250,000 for payroll taxes, and then any income over $250,000 would be taxable for Social Security. So basically, all the income would be taxable, right? For the most part. So that would be another way that they could raise more revenues to actually offset some of these increased expenses and more people starting to draw on Social Security. Because as of right now, we know that the solvency of this program is not the best, right? Like I said a minute ago, in about 2033, so about 12 years or so from right now, the program may be insolvent. In other words, the trust funds will be dried up, empty, and the only money that they'll be able to distribute at that point to the beneficiaries would be from the money coming in as a result of payroll taxes. So, as a result of the insolvency, therefore, they may only be able to pay out about 78% of promised benefits. So, you may see like a 22% drop in your benefits in like 1 year, all of a sudden, boom, right? Well, that would not be a good situation. By the way, that's out about 12 years from right now. So it's a very long time out. So don't worry about that right now. Nothing to worry about that. I just wanted to explain that a little bit more. But the reason that they're introducing these proposals right now, like the Social Security 2100 and this new one from Al Lawson, is because the program is going to be insolvent. So they're trying to figure out a solution now is how can we maintain all of the promised benefits for all of the millions of beneficiaries drawing on Social Security, and what can we do to make sure that this program is going to stay solvent going into the future when all of a sudden we may see some issues coming forward. So they're trying to be proactive and figure it out now by introducing these different proposals, because it's going to take a long time. So if they start implementing some of these new proposals now and collecting higher payroll taxes and start pumping that money into the trust fund, it'll maintain the solvency of the program for many more years to come, right? So they got to start doing it now. They need to start collecting those extra payroll taxes now, because it's going to take a very long time to build up the trust fund, right? To keep that money flowing in. So anyway, it's just like it's a little trickle going into the trust fund, but over long periods of time, the trickle turns into a big old pond, right? Or more like an ocean called money, right? So anyway, hope that makes it a little bit more clear. But basically what's happening right now is the workforce is decreasing, as in people out there paying into Social Security through payroll taxes is decreasing. Meanwhile, people retiring and drawing on Social Security benefits is increasing. So as you can see, there's kind of this influx between the two right here. And that's why Social Security is somewhat in jeopardy, is because there's less money going into the program and more people drawing on the program due to retirement, right? So I think that kind of makes sense, because the baby boom generation right now is like in the thick of it right now, right? There's actually 10,000 baby boomers every single day who are becoming eligible for Social Security. That's a lot, right? 10,000 people every day. That's just for retirement. That's not taking into consideration disability benefits or survivor's benefits, any of it, right? So we're talking about a massive influx of people right now drawing on Social Security. So that's why these lawmakers are stepping up right now saying, hey, we've got to do something. This program is potentially in jeopardy out into the future here, and we've got to do something now to make sure that the promised benefits will still be there for all of these tens of millions of beneficiaries in the future. So anyway, I wanted to come back. I just found this for you. It just hit the wire a short time ago. And as I said, my promise to you is I'm watching this stuff very closely. When I find something new, I dive right in. I do all the research. I find everything I can. I cross-reference my sources. I learn as much as I can about it. And then I come back right here and I lay it all out in as short of a video as I possibly can. Clear, concise, and straight to the point, because I want to help you out in any way that I can. So this is yet again another new proposal to reform Social Security and actually raise benefits for beneficiaries. So interesting. Again, this one is from Lawson, and the other one, Social Security 2100, is from John Larson, right? So we got Lawson and Larson. All right. Anyway, if you want to look them up yourself, feel free to do so. But this one just hit the tape, and these are the two. So again, we'll watch this closely. As I get more information on any of this, of course, I'll be right back here for you with all the latest updates. So thank you so much for your continued support. Your one and only trusted source right here for all of the honest, accurate, and reliable information. If there's ever a time that I make a mistake with anything, I'll be the first to come back and say, hey, I'm sorry, I messed up. The information was bad, and here's the correction. But I do that whenever I need to. But again, I cross-reference my information. I do whatever I possibly can to make sure that my first video is always the best information, because that's just very important to me, right? So again, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe down below. It's totally free to do so. Share this video with your friends, family, and social media, and feel free to go back and check out some of the other videos right here on the channel, as we have almost 2,000 videos, and I hope you're having a nice day. Thank you so much for joining me. Subscribe down below, and I'll catch you again later, and I hope this video helps you out and lets you know what is going on out in the big, wild world that we live in. It's so weird out there right now. Seriously, there's so much stuff going on. Anyway,